So I've got a bag full of potential new drivers. I'm looking at a driver that's going to offer a little bit more forgiveness for me. You might have seen recently, I've had this driver in the bag for 18 months now, the Cobra F9 Driver. And I absolutely love this driver. I said it was the best driver of 2019, and I continue to have it in the bag for 2020 because for me, on performance, not much could beat it. I like the look of it, I like the feel of it, I like the sound of it. But the thing for me, just at the moment, is I'm struggling to hit the thing straight. I'm struggling to find enough fairways. And that's not particularly this driver's fault. But for me, I feel like there could be a driver out there that's offering more forgiveness. And I said at the start of this year, I would not replace a club in my bag unless it beat the performance of what I already had in the bag. And that's what we're going to look at today. So, because I have a lot of the new drivers and I've got my home simulator, I thought it'd be a good time to test them all out. Criteria, I'm not looking for a driver that's going to offer me loads more distance. I want somewhere the same distance from any of the drivers I put in my bag. But the criteria I'm looking to get this time is forgiveness and looking for a driver that's going to find more fairways. So at home, I tested loads of drivers from loads of different brands. And what I found using my launch monitor is that the distances were all very similar, giving me around about 280 yards of carry for 300 total yards. But in this test, this experiment for getting a new driver, it wasn't about distance for me. I wanted a driver that I sat behind the golf ball that gave me confidence, and one that I found I could hit straighter and give me more forgiveness. Now I know the straightness comes down to me a little bit, but if I can get a driver that gives me confidence, that's going to make a massive difference. So I managed to whittle it down to just 3 drivers. And these are the 3 I'm going to be taking on the golf course today to see if they are better than my driver and to see which one could potentially go in the bag. So 3 drivers that I whittled it down to were these 3. The Callaway Mavrik Driver, the standard version. For me, behind the golf ball, this driver looks fantastic. I was never the biggest fan of the bottom, but in the indoor testing, this definitely offered me a lot of forgiveness, which I was very happy about. Another driver I've put in the bag for testing on the golf course is this, the Cobra Speedzone. And this is the Speedzone Xtreme Driver. Center of gravity is as far back as you can get. The head size of this, even though it's 460cc, just looks massive behind the golf ball. It definitely provided me a lot of confidence when I was hitting it indoor. Let's see what it does on the course. And then the final driver is this, the Mizuno driver. This came as a bit of a surprise to me, so I've never had a Mizuno driver in the bag before. And this is the ST200. This offered me a lot of forgiveness when I tested it indoor, and I'm excited to give this one a test. So I'm excited to see which driver could potentially replace the F9. Now there's 2 points I want to make. First point, this isn't a super scientific test. This is a test out on the golf course in real life situation. Which of these drivers looks best behind the golf ball for me? Which one sounds the best? Which one gives me the most confidence when I'm stood on the tee? That's so important for me, it's unreal. Regards to data, I've done all the data. I know these drivers, when I test them at home, give me the right spin rate, the right ball speed, the correct carry distance, total distance. This test isn't about that. And then point number 2. So I know there's going to be comments down below, where's the TaylorMade driver? Where's the Ping driver, Titleist driver? Well, all of those I did test at home, but out of all the ones that I tested, these are the 3 drivers that I personally feel gave me the most confidence behind the golf ball. And for me, I felt like I was hitting them straighter when I tested it. That's why they're in the golf bag right now. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is hit these drivers without warming up. This happens to me quite a bit. I've not played golf for 2 weeks, or I'm rushing to a tee off with my friends. I've just not had a chance to properly warm up. So I want a driver for me that gives me confidence straight out of the blocks. I've had drivers in the past that have been super long hitting once I'm warmed up. I always remember, do you remember the TaylorMade SLDR, super low spin driver? When I was swinging at maximum speed, was a monster. But trying to hit that on a cold day on the first tee without a warm-up, it was a nightmare. Might as well have not bothered. So for me, I want a driver that I know I can just stand there, first tee, no warm up, and it gives me confidence straight away. Let's see out of these three which one does that straight off. First driver is this, the Cobra Speedzone Xtreme. That is a big head behind the golf ball. It feels like I can't miss it, which is good for confidence. Right, first shot, no warm up. Oh, that is perfect. That's what I want a driver to do. Just literally, without even thinking, I've just popped it straight down the middle of the fairway. Very strong start for the Cobra. Okay, next up, Mizuno ST200. Again, a good shape head. Looks very simple behind the golf ball. It does give me confidence. It doesn't feel like this is going to be a low spin driver. Again, that's pretty good. Second golf swing of the day and another fairway hit, I think, with the Mizuno. Let's go Callaway next. Okay, Callaway Mavrik Driver. A head shape that I am familiar with. I've had Callaway drivers in the bag before. This does look nice, looks generous enough. Let's see what the Callaway does. That's pretty good as well. Right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go and play a few holes with these drivers. Just get a feel for them, see which one I like. They were all good opening tee shots. I'd take any of those on a cold first tee every day. So I found a nice quiet tee and I've got a load of golf balls out my bag. I'm going to give these drivers a bit of a hit. Now, it's not going to be a smash fest. I'm not just going to stand here and try and hit it as hard as I can. I've made that mistake in the past. I'm not just at a driving range, I'm out on a golf course. And as I mentioned, I want a new driver that's going to get me in the fairway and give me confidence. It's absolutely key. So I've come to a hole here which requires a good tee shot. There's a bunker left, a bunker right. I've got to kind of draw it a little bit, which is my natural shot shape. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit a bunch of these driver shots and just figure out which ones am I starting to like. What do my good shots look like, sound like, feel like, because that's still important, but also what do my bad shots come out like? If I hit it low heel or high toe, what's the result? Because that's so important. After this, I might whittle it down to 2, or I might even have a full out favourite, or they might still all be in the bag. But let's give them a hit and see what they are like in a real hole situation. Yeah, that's good. When you hit the fairway, like the ball just bounds so much more. I think that's the problem. I think I could get more distance out of my driver shots if I'm landing the ball in the fairway as opposed to in the rough. That was a good one then. Yeah, that's a good drive. Really nice, that one. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I've whacked all those drivers and there's one that I didn't get on with. This one, the Callaway Mavrik. I was hitting it offline, I was hitting it in the trees, I started hitting it more left, which is my problem shot. I just lost complete confidence with that driver. So that is out of the bag. And now we're down to just 2 drivers. Could I be going back-to-back years with a Cobra driver? Not what I expected. And even more of a surprise, could I be going Mizuno driver in the bag? Both of these two impressed me in that little test. I'm intrigued to know which one I put in the bag. So there's 2 things I've established so far. Number 1, the Cobra F9 is going to get replaced out of the bag. And number 2, it's not going to be by the Callaway Mavrik Driver. It's going to be either with the Speedzone or the Mizuno. And I'll be honest, I'm finding it really hard to separate these 2 drivers. I like them both a lot. They do exactly what I want a new driver to do for me. So I'm going to play this hole, give them a hit, You have a little think about how I can decide between these two, because they're both good. I mean, this, for example, this Cobra driver just looks so inviting behind the ball. It's got a really lovely head shape. It's a good looking driver, and so far every time I've hit it and every time I've put that club behind the golf ball, whether it was at the home simulator or out on the golf course so far, I felt like I'm going to hit a good driver shot. Might not be my longest ever, but I feel like I can control the shot, and that is valuable for me to help lower my score. I need to find more fairways, because if I can find more fairways, I can hit more greens. It's a lovely looking head. And just like that, I mean, it is middle of the fairway. Gorgeous. And then there's this, the Mizuno driver. Never in my wildest dreams did I think a Mizuno driver would have the chance of going in my bag. I've never had a Mizuno driver in the bag. They've not been renowned for drivers, but as of last few years, they've really upped the game. This driver's good, ST200. It's a much more traditional head shape, what you get from the Cobra. The Cobra's a bit more modern, where this is much more traditional, pear-shaped, it's got a bit of carbon. It's a good looking head, and again, sitting it behind the golf ball just looks inviting, like it looks friendly to hit. Oh, not quite as good that time, but you know what, actually, that was a bad strike. I hit that from the toe. It started on the fairway and just tailed off, maybe just in that first cut of rough, not disastrous. I'm gonna have a walk down there. Let me have time to digest this, because either one at the moment could go in the bag and I can't fully decide which. Both are very good. So after a bit of time to reflect and have a little think about which driver I prefer, the one thing that's given me a little bit of a guide, I seem to be always wanting to pull the Cobra out the bag first. I feel like that's the one I'm more excited about. I feel like I'm slightly more swaying towards that. What's interesting, look at these drives. This is the Mizuno driver. I didn't hit that well. It's found the fairway, which is exactly what I'm looking for on my missed strikes. I feel like the driver I currently have, or if it's a bit more of a distance driver with the same strike, I feel like ball would have ended up in the trees. I really do. So that's testament for its forgiveness level. But I cannot look past the Speedzone Driver. I absolutely smoked it. Middle of the fairway, A1 position. And a lot of shots I've hit with that Cobra driver have given me that same result. I definitely feel like I'm swaying a little bit more this way. I've got one more test to go. The next hole is a drivable par 4. I'm gonna have a little bit of fun, hit a few with each and see which one can potentially go closest to the hole. Maybe that will just give me the final decision to see which driver ends up in my bag. Okay, one more fun challenge to finish things off, a little bit of a decider. I'm here at the 17th hole at Mavrik Park, a drivable par 4 at 290 yards. Now this shot for me is the type of shot that I need accuracy with my driver. I can easily reach there, but I need to be able to position it, ideally on the green, to give myself an eagle chance and at worst a birdie opportunity. So I'm gonna hit 3 with each and see how I get on. I'm gonna have 3 balls with a C on for Cobra, 3 balls with an M on for Mizuno. Let's see which one ends up closest. Okay, Cobra first. Let's see how it does on this tricky little hole. Oh no. Oh no. That wasn't the best opening shot for the Cobra. And I must admit, I don't think that was the driver. That was down to me. I felt like I backed out of that one a little bit. I was ashamed. That wasn't a great first shot with the Cobra. Let's go Mizuno next. Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, that should be green side there with the Mizuno. Okay, I need to concentrate a bit more on these, because these aren't magic ones. Just because they're forgiving drivers doesn't mean I'm going to hit every single one of them straight. So a lot of it is still down to the user, to the golfer, to me. That's really nice in the Cobra. Just cut a little bit Yeah, that was good. Green side again. I'm not sure if it quite got the total distance, but that was a very nice golf shot. Okay, second shot with the Mizuno. I do like the look of this head. It's just a very classic look. I mentioned before about Mizuno drivers. If that was a little bit less shiny, I think I'd really, really be in love with the driver head. But I like now that they've gone to the black design. I think it just looks a lot smarter. I could definitely put either one of these in the bag. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, last one with each. The Cobra driver, the Speedzone. Definitely giving me confidence, this driver. Oh, that is beautiful. That is a great golf shot. First impressions from where I'm looking here, that looks very good. Whether it's just quite got the distance, but that was unbelievably straight flighted. Okay, last one with the Mizuno ST200. Oh, that's a really good shot. Wow, okay, that's going to be really interesting. I'm going to have to get down there and have a look which golf ball is actually closest, because those last two shots from each were definitely the best ones. Just before we do that, I'm going to hit one more with my own driver, the F9, just so I can get a bit of a comparison. Inevitably, it always happens, doesn't it? I'll probably hit my best shot with that F9 right now, but I just want to see how it feels compared to these kind of bigger, more forgiving heads. Let's hit one more with my driver. Okay, let's hit my current F9 driver. The head shape is so different now after hitting those two. It's much more kind of streamlined, a little bit more squashed. It doesn't look anywhere near as forgiving. Like, no wonder when I'm lacking confidence with my driver, no wonder when I look down at that driver head now, I can kind of tell why potentially I'm not as confident. But let's hit one more with it. It has been a great driver for me. Like I say, inevitably I'll probably hit this super close to the hole, but let's give this a hit. That is so true to the performance of this driver. That was not a bad golf shot one bit, but it just gives me the feeling that it's going to get distance but not direction. I feel like I'll just lose forgiveness. I'm kind of glad I hit that last one just for that reassurance. Right, let's get down to the green and let's see how close those driver shots were with the Cobra and the Mizuno. So I'm sure the eagle-eyed golfers out there will know that this Cobra F9 does have two weights, and I could move that weight back to make it more forgiving, and I have tried that. I have moved that weight back to see if it offers a little bit more forgiveness, and it does a little bit, but it's more the shape of the driver. Like, I just don't feel like the shape when I sit it behind the golf ball gives me that confidence, and that's mainly what I'm looking for, and that's what these two drivers definitely give me a lot more of. This is exactly what I'm looking for in a driver. This is green side on this par 4. That's one of the Cobra ones just at the front. This is a Mizuno one, again pretty close. We've got two right at the front here. We've got one just short of that bunker and then one further right, that first opening shot with the Cobra, which in fairness was the worst shot I've hit with it. I mean, look at these two. As much as I know I could get a driver that could possibly give me the distance to get on the green, if not a bit further, I'm not getting a driver that's giving me that much consistency, and that is exactly what I want. That one's the Cobra, that's the Mizuno. For me, it's very close. It's super close between these two drivers, but the one that I feel most confident with and the one that I'm going to put in the bag is going to be the Cobra Speedzone. I think the Cobra Speedzone for me behind the ball gives me the most confidence, and that's why I'm going to put this on, my very own Rick Shiels head cover. That is going to replace the F9, and believe it or not, for the second year I'm going to put a Cobra driver in the bag. Mizuno's out. It was pretty good, but not quite good enough. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you smash like. My new driver, Cobra Speedzone Xtreme. Let's hope it helps me shoot better scores. We'll see you next time.